Hey, welcome to the DBC Inc. Facebook Live. It is a book birthday special Sunday edition. We are here with you on a Sunday night, and I am joined by Andrew Sharos. How you doing, Andrew?
Fantastic. How are you?
Fantastic. Andrew is a DBC Inc. books author 3 times over now. He is the author of the highly successful All Fours and Fives, which is a project about how to successfully run an AP advanced placement program. He is the author of Finding Lifelines, about finding mentors and being a mentor, and great book for new teachers or people that work with new teachers. And he is the brand new author of Kids Can. Andrew, how's it feel to publish book number 3?
It feels amazing. Releasing on a weekend has been nice because we haven't had the distraction of work that gets in the way. We've had baseball games all weekend and a bunch of family stuff, but it was an early rise yesterday, and just, watching on Amazon and reaching out to others, hearing from family, coworkers, and folks that we've worked with. It's so humbling. You look forward to this. This book took 4 years to write. We're just at a different stage in life right now where I think it was like 54 plane rides to write this one. You don't have anything better to do. Like, I can watch reruns of The Office, or I can write. So it eventually came out, and so happy with the editing team that we took our time and we did this one right. And, Dave, I really feel like it's a timely book. Just kind of getting out there and talking to teachers, either in our own school and around the country. Like, some of the things that we're hitting on in the book, I think hopefully are super timely for folks. And this is a release valve and a lifeline.
Yeah, I think so too. First of all, thank you. Nick is joining us from Winnipeg, Manitoba, and we have Tisha Richmond joining us from Medford, Oregon. And so glad to have both of you on here, 2 DBC book authors in the stream there. Thank you so much for watching. And anybody else who's popping in, feel free to throw your name over in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from, and we would love to know who's there. Oh, and even Tara Martin from Cincinnati, Ohio. Look at that.
Crossing the globe.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you, Andrew. I think this is a book that is very timely. It's a book that teachers are going to feel empowered by, feel encouraged by, and really kind of aimed at help. We have lots of students that are struggling, and this book is really aimed at helping teachers create classroom environments that are going to be supportive of those struggling students. And I know that we kind of went through this process of how wide to make this book, how narrow to make this book, and we really decided, like, hey, there are kids struggling in classrooms across the whole school, across the whole district. Let's really broaden this book out and make it for everybody.
Yeah, I think we kept coming back to attendance, behavior, apathy, teachers feeling alone, struggling. Like, Chicago was really hard during the pandemic, and whether that was isolation or social emotional challenges and things at home, like, you hear the same things from teachers everywhere. And in one way, that's comforting, because you're like, well, it's not just us, it's not just our kids, right? But instead of talking about all of the challenges and the things that kids can't do, how do we make the conversation more solutions based, to know that, like, we are doing some really good things, and we're not doing that in a vacuum. I think for me, making calls, making emails, or writing emails and talking to other teachers around the country, All Fours and Fives and Finding Lifelines was very isolated to my own experiences. And I really feel like this book has a lot of different voices in it. And I actually did some research, which really wasn't the case in the first 2 books. So having some research-backed methods on literacy strategies and executive functioning, organization skills, memorization skills, but also, a dozen or so teachers around the country whose kids are achieving and still doing really good things. Like, let's crowdsource some of that information. Let's share it around, and let's see if we can get better outcomes for some of our students.
Yeah. Thank you, Tisha. Yeah, it is an amazing project from Andrew. And like you said, it is needed. So, Andrew, the question that always comes up when we release a new book is, hey, I teach this grade, this subject, is this for me? Is there something in here for me? So how would you address the question of like grade level, subject area? How wide of a group are we hitting here with this?
I think I was better prepared to write this book now than I ever was in my career because I'm a father. And, my 18 years in education have all been in high school. So that's kind of my sweet spot and my comfort zone. And the first two books, like we tried really hard to make the second book, not just for high school teachers, but if you read this novel and this allegory, you would know that it was a high school teacher. But I'm watching the challenges that my oldest kid has reading and organizing his work and remembering to bring his water bottle from the baseball field, right? I'm watching a very gifted middle child that I have that doesn't have to work, right? Like lift a finger to achieve things. But we know we have those kids in our classroom too. And like, it's going to catch up to him at some point. Like he will struggle in different ways, right? I'm watching my youngest child who's 6 turning 7, and he just hasn't had the attention as the older two, right? Twice as many screens, way more baseball games he's being dragged to. The attention span isn't there. And so, the dialogue with their teachers is fascinating, right? These women who are with them 8 hours a day and responsible for the struggles and challenges that they have. We're a team, right? And parents and teachers are working as a team. And so I can speak to the culture and the relationships and the methodology of a high school student, but we know that that's not what this is all about, right? It's working with 6-year-olds, working with 9-year-olds, and figuring out who they are and what makes them tick, and how we can use data, how we can get them to read more, right? How we can get them to be a part of their learning. So I really feel like the audience is widespread as we can make it. I've got stories from my aunt who's been a kindergarten teacher for 40 years. And so, right, like bringing in those different voices of folks who teach different things in different areas of the country, hopefully makes this more authentic and not just, me on a soapbox.
Right. Yeah. And hey, Lauren Coffin, thanks for Lauren popping in from New York. Really appreciate you being here and checking this out. Yes, I think you're going to love this one, Lauren. Andrew did a fantastic job. And I agree, Andrew, there's something really across the whole curriculum, across all grade levels in this book, very wide. And so I think this is one of those books that would make a fantastic book study, because you can read it as a staff and everybody on the staff is going to get something out of it. It doesn't matter if you're the science teacher, if you're teaching calculus, you're teaching reading, ELA, whatever it is, you're going to be able to grab something out of this book. And so I think this is really one that I would recommend as a possibility for a book study. Like if you're heading into the summer and want to get a book into the hands of your teachers that's going to get them fired up and more prepared to come back next year, energized and feeling ready. I think this is a good one.
There's a couple sections at the back of this one, Dave, that are kind of like cheat sheets for if you were assigned a book study and you were like we're all professionals, right? But we have a ton going on and things like that. And sometimes the admin tell you got to get to chapter 3 or 4 by this date, and we're going to discuss it. And if you're scrambling, there's some good sections in the back that will give you an idea of what you're going to be talking about in that book study. And hopefully, by giving you some of those ideas, you're tempted to go backwards and actually read through the chapters. So I think it works well that way. And I know, you'll do this all the time too. Anybody that's reading this in a group of people, I'm always happy to hop on a Google Meet, a Zoom, where 2 or 3 are gathered. Like I will be there. I'd love to chat about the book with you, very informally or formally, however you want to make it. But when teachers engage in professional development and collective teacher efficacy goes up, and kids are going to win from that. So if I can be a part of that, I'd be honored.
Yeah. Amy, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you being here as well, from California. And yes, I agree. And Nick had a great point, is that we need to help struggling students as early as possible. And, that's something she knows as a first grade teacher. The struggling students, it's not just something that happens in high school. If we can grab them early, help them in early primary, elementary school, middle school, the earlier we can grab them, the better they're going to have an experience through the school system. And so I love the fact that this is kind of across the whole spectrum.
No doubt. I think instilling confidence in younger students, I think, is the biggest part. I'm coaching 7-year-olds, 9-year-olds, and 11-year-olds. And you can see when kids get down on themselves, right? And transferring that into the classroom, you'd imagine that the academic performance, the on-field performance is affected by whether or not kids think they can. And for a variety of different reasons, sometimes, the challenges that they have at home, the challenges that they have within their school and the way the school is serving them. Sometimes kids think they can't, right? And so kind of trying to throw that word out a little bit and shift the conversation towards solutions and research-based things, but also a real focus on culture and relationships. It was the last chapter of the book, and the editors convinced me to move it to the first chapter of the book. And so then you have to go back and look at all the different chapters and feel like, they still mesh well together. But, it's like the first paragraph of an essay that you write. It better be your best research, your best punch that you're going to throw, or else you're going to lose the reader. And so the editors did a great job of switching that around and saying, you've got to lead with this paragraph because I feel like you're writing with more passion. This is you and your voice coming through and trying to build that positive culture.
Yeah. And Tish, thank you for that. Yeah, it is. I think it's perfectly set up for a book study. I agree. And so I'm a sucker for alliteration. So I love the kids can, and I love just the in just two words, how much you're conveying with that title and how essential that is. And that was, I think, something that maybe Lauren had mentioned earlier, like this this title says a lot just in two words. So I love that.
We were borrowing from Teach Like a Pirate a little bit, a long subtitle though, right? A long subtitle.
Okay. That's the thing I argue with the editors about all the time is I love long subtitles. I wanted like those 3-parters with the Oxford comma in there. Like I want the whole thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, but we have to fit it on the book. Like, I don't care. That's a designer's problem.
We fit it.
Yeah. Hey, so one thing that I wanted to address is this. So a lot of people think, you mentioned about moving the chapter and the developmental editing, all that kind of stuff. A lot of people think that the process of writing a book is this thing where you sit down in front of a Google Doc, type out a bunch of stuff, turn it in, and then like it gets put into a design format and you have a book like 3 weeks later or something like that. That's not the way that it works. This is an intensive process of going back and forth and really working over these ideas and trying to create something special for the reader. And so maybe if you kind of speak to the joy, but yet the frustrations that go along with the back and forth process. It's not easy.
Each of these books, the editing process kind of took on a different story. So if you recall, I wrote all 4s and 5s when I tore my ACL. And I was like, I can't watch Netflix anymore. Like, I got to do something productive. So just everything came out about what we did, to get these kids these amazing test scores and stuff. And took 3 weeks to write and then a year to edit. So I think it shows you like the importance of that process. The second book was a co-authored book. So that was a whole new process of editor, co-author, back to the editor, co-author. And that was challenging, right? Because it's about communication and still trying to convey the same message and same ideas. And we told a story. So the story was changing as we were going back and forth. Yeah. I haven't enjoyed the editing process as much as I did this time. Dana, the original editor, who gave me feedback, like I felt like she was in the room with me because she really read it and she really knew me and what I wanted to convey. And that's how she earned trust with me digitally. I've never seen her. We've never spoke, but she gave me amazing feedback and earned my trust that like she's really looking out for what we're conveying to the readers and what the readers need from this. And we made substantial changes along the way. And I was talking to Wendy, who runs all the back of the house stuff for the publishing company. And I was really trying to get this out last summer, going out to different schools and being able to share, I think, a timely message with folks. And we decided like that was at the time, it wasn't going to be a book I wanted to write or you wanted to read. So we really took our time with this one. And here we are, like really 4 years later and maybe 18 months of editing afterwards to make this something that we're proud of and something hopefully that will help you and help your students. So, it still shares a lot of the same characteristics as the other one. A lot of I think there are compliments, but comments I got on the first two was like, I read that book in 3 hours, like it was an easy read. And maybe I can't write any differently. So 120, 130 pages. And I think this fits kind of the same kind of easy read feel to it.
Yeah. And that's what people want right now. An educator isn't looking to have a book looking like Harry Potter sitting over on their nightstand that they're trying to dive into. They want to get in, they want to get out, they want to get some very useful, practical stuff that's going to empower them and get into class, right? And so I think that it's hitting that sweet spot just right. But I wanted to kind of emphasize that because it's just like sometimes these books just pop out, like people didn't know this was coming, and all of a sudden like, hey, it's a new book, and like we're thinking like, well, maybe Andrew wrote this over the last month. It's like, no, this thing has been worked over and over and over and over and really fine-tuned and honed to be a project which we think you are going to love. Tara has put the Alicia, thanks for popping in here. I see Alicia has popped in from Alicia's an Andrew Sharos fan, by the way.
There's a lot of really good people in this room right now. I don't know if I'm allowed to comment on all the things that people are commenting here, but I'm very humbled. Thank you.
Yeah. Amy, thank you, and Nick, thank you for that. All that, yeah, we love it. So we love our readers, we love our authors, and it's just all one big family, and so we love it. But so head over to Amazon, grab a copy of this book. You're going to get it Prime shipping. It's going to arrive in a couple days. It's arriving to people right now. Andrew already has his copy. My copy is probably coming tomorrow. This is out now, and you can have it this week if you order it. And we cannot wait for you to dive into this book. When it arrives to you, we would love to see a picture. There's nothing that we just absolutely love seeing people with their books that they get in the mail. And then any takeaways that you get from the book, please share it with us. Tag us. Tag me, tag Andrew. Andrew, why don't we tackle that right now? If people want to tag you on social media, where are the best places to find you?
So X at Andrew Sharos AP. So still hanging on to that from the all 4s and 5s days, and Instagram Andrew Sharos at Andrew Sharos. So I'm on there, and we got a lot of really good traffic.
On Instagram is A Sharos, right?
A Sharos, sorry, A Sharos. Yep, you got it.
Okay. Andrew Sharos AP on X, and then A Sharos on Instagram. And there we go.
That's why we have Tara.
Tara's putting them in the chat as we speak. She's fast. She's quick. So she'll get them in there. But please, we would love and be honored if you headed over to Amazon and grabbed yourself a copy of this book. I can't imagine that you're not going to find something inside that's going to just make you feel better about your life as a teacher and help you in the classroom. And so when that happens, we would love to hear about it. And Andrew, congratulations on your 3rd book.
I'm incredibly grateful. I think, even some of the other authors that are in here, reaching out to them, having never met them, having them look at the book ahead of time, give me some great feedback and testimonials. I remember when I read the email the first time you sent me something back about all 4s and 5s. I was watching my kids' soccer practice in 2016, and you said, we're going to make a book together. And it's changed my life, and I really hope it's had an impact on other people's lives too, just by connecting through the books that we've done together. And that is really why we do this, right? Like, we know that there are some teachers in the corner of the country or the world that could benefit from, some of the thoughts that we have on this. And if kids are benefiting too, like, we're all winning.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Chris, I see we have an East Coaster popping in here late after 9 o'clock on the East Coast. Kristen, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate that. Kristen came to the PNW, and of course, when people come around the PNW, what happens is we meet for ice cream. That's what happened. So, all right.
Love that.
Yeah. So grab your copy. Andrew, congratulations again. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I know this is kind of late on a Sunday night, and yet you took some time to spend with us, and we really appreciate that. We don't take that for granted. We really appreciate you. And we can't wait for you to read this book and let us know what you think.
Hey, all the teachers and admin out there, good luck with the grind. I know we're about 4 or 5 weeks away, so it could be some of the most challenging and struggle-filled month of the year, but we've got this. We can do it.
Yep, we can. Kids can. We can too. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.